You're in a Zoom meeting and you want to share your screen, this is the video that's going to show you all the different ways that you can do screen shares while you are in a Zoom meeting. The other thing you can do is if you have an iPad or an iPhone, you can actually share that screen with the meeting in addition to your laptop screen. So this video is going to go through and just show you those couple of tricks on how to do it and the different ways you can share your screen. I do have other videos that show you all the meeting options that you have while you're in a Zoom call and all the different features that you can take advantage of. So if you need some help with those, please feel free to check out those other videos. Otherwise, let's jump into our Zoom call. Now you're in a Zoom meeting and you want to be able to share your screen. If you don't see the navigation buttons down at the bottom, just wiggle your mouse around a little bit, as those will automatically hide after a few seconds. And you're going to see this big green button in the middle that says Share Screen. So in order to share your screen, you want to click on that. You're going to have a lot of different options here. So you're going to have the desktop option, which means everything you see on your computer, your students or whoever is in the Zoom with you will be able to see. You'll have a whiteboard feature where it displays a whiteboard on your screen. You can connect your iPhone, iPad via AirPlay. You can connect your iPhone, iPad via cable, which I'll talk about those in just a few. And then if you have certain apps open on your laptop, you can actually share that specific app. I find some apps do show and some don't, so you might find it can be a little hit or miss with if the app will work or not. But if it does show, it's a great way to do it so students won't see everything else that's on your screen. So it just depends on what you want to do. If you share any one of these windows and you want the students to be able to hear the sound that's coming from your computer rather than just your mic, so let's say you want to play a YouTube video for the kids, or you have a video saved on your computer that you want your students or anybody in the Zoom meeting to be able to hear, you're going to see these two options down at the bottom: Share Sound and Optimize for Video Clip. So if you want the students to be able to hear the sound that's coming from your computer, you want to tick the box Share Sound. If you're going to be playing video that the students will be watching, you want to make sure you click Optimize for Video Clip. That'll help Zoom make the experience a little better. It might not be as jittery and things like that. It'll make the quality a little bit better for them. Let's say, for example, I just want to share my desktop. So I'm going to click on Desktop and I'm going to hit the Share button down on the bottom right here. Now you're going to see my whole screen is shared. You're going to see there's a big green box around my screen. So everything I do on my computer, the students will be able to see. Any files I open, any programs I open, the students will be able to see everything that you do. When you're finished, you'll see this little Stop Share button across the top. All you have to do is just click on Stop Share, and the students will no longer be able to see your screen anymore. So that's the first option. That's if you want to share everything that's possible on your screen. As just in a little aside here, if you have a document camera, which I know a lot of teachers have, you have two ways that you can share that. You can either open the document camera program where you work within the document camera and then share your screen so students can see that. But all document cameras, they're basically just USB webcams. So what you can also do is come down to the bottom left here where it says Start Video or Show Video or Stop Video, depending on where it is for you. You'll see that little arrow next to it. If you click on that, you'll actually see your document camera in that list. So if you select the document camera, it will just act as a camera and your students will be able to see anything that you have underneath it. A quick little aside here, if you do have a document camera, oftentimes it is a lot better quality than the built-in webcam on your laptop. It doesn't take much to beat your built-in webcam on any laptop, Mac or Windows. But what you can do is tip the document camera up so it's pointing at you, and you can actually take advantage of the little bit better quality camera and actually use the document camera as your webcam. So just a quick little aside on that. So we're now back to the share screen. If you want to do a whiteboard, you can click on whiteboard, and hit share. Now all your students will be able to see is a whiteboard, and you can just start drawing with your trackpad. It has a lot of different options up here. It has a select tool where you can move it around. You can click on text and just start entering text. You can do freehand draw, and you can do a bunch of different symbols. It has stamp features where you can do just arrows and stuff like that. Lots of different features within this. So I would definitely suggest playing around with it and seeing if it's something you can find useful. If you do have an iPad with an Apple Pencil, I would strongly suggest looking at whiteboard features that can be used on your iPad. But if you don't have one, this is a great substitute and you can do some really neat things with it. Again, when you're all done with the whiteboard feature, you just hit the stop share feature and your whiteboard's closed. Now I'm going to click on share screen again. If you have an iPhone or an iPad, you can connect it directly so that you can actually see what is displayed on your iPhone or iPad. So I'm going to take my iPad, for example, and there are two ways to do this. You can do it through AirPlay or via cable. AirPlay lets you do it wirelessly. You do not have to physically connect your iPad or your iPhone to your laptop in order to show it. So what you're going to do is, let's say you want to do it via AirPlay. I'm going to click on iPhone, iPad via AirPlay, and I'm going to click share. What it's going to show on your screen is it's going to show you all the steps you need to do in order to connect it. So you will open up your iPad or your iPhone, and you swipe down from just off the screen on the top right, and you're going to see a screen mirroring option. If you tap on that, you want to look for the name that it shows you on the laptop. So Zoom Adams MacBook Pro. So I'm going to tap on that on my iPad. And what's going to happen here in just a moment is you are now going to see my iPad screen displayed. So now anything I do on my iPad will show up for the students and they'll be able to see it. And what you're going to see is now there's a big green box that goes around my iPad screen. So the students are only seeing what's on the iPad. If I did this with my iPhone, it would be exactly the same, except they'd be seeing what's on your iPhone. If you have an Apple Pencil, any whiteboard apps you have, or if you have a PowerPoint presentation or a Keynote presentation with notation stuff that you want to do with your Apple Pencil, you just open those up. And I would strongly suggest if you have those, you can do a lot more things with it by using your Apple Pencil on the iPad. So if you do have an Apple Pencil with an iPad and you're using Zoom, I would strongly suggest doing your presentations using the apps on your iPad. Gives you a lot more power. But when you're all done sharing, common theme here, stop share across the top and you're back out. The other way you can share your iPhone or iPad is if you have the USB-C cable or any cable that, depending on what version iPad or iPhone you have, you might need a Lightning to USB-C, a Lightning to USB-A, depending on the cable. But however you can attach your iPhone or iPad to your laptop, you can connect it that way, and you would tap on iPhone, iPad via cable, hit share, and it will find the device and share that device. So those are the two ways to share your iOS device screen. So in reality, you have three options for sharing your screen. You have the desktop option, which includes sharing individual apps, and that will show everything that's on your computer or just that individual app that you decided to share. You can share via iPhone, iPad via AirPlay, or share via iPhone, iPad via cable, and then you also have that whiteboard feature. Across the top here, you're going to see a couple of tabs. The second tab is Advanced. If you click on that, you can actually do a couple different types of shares. You can share slides as a virtual background, meaning it'll kind of shrink you down a little bit, and it will have the slideshow running in the background. If you have a green screen, you can do it really well. If you don't have a green screen, I would probably be a little more careful on using that feature. It might work really well. It may get really fuzzy and the background may not look as good right around you. Zoom does a pretty good job when you don't have a green screen, but it doesn't work that well. If you do have a green screen, I would definitely check it out and give it a try. You can select just a small portion of your screen. So if I just want to share everything in the bottom left-hand corner, I can actually draw out a section and it will only share what's in that area. If you only want to share music or a computer sound, you can tap on that and it'll ask you what you want to share. If you have a second camera, like I mentioned, a document camera, you can share from a second camera and they'll see you kind of picture in picture. Personally, I would actually just change the camera like I was showing you earlier in this presentation. The third option is Files. When you tap on that, you can share files directly from Dropbox, OneDrive, Google Drive, Box, and SharePoint. And that'll allow you to directly share files with students, and you'll actually see those files right on the screen. So again, to get to the share screen feature, you just come down to the bottom middle of your screen and click that big green button that says Share Screen. And from here, you can do all the different types of screen shares that you might need to do. I hope you found this video useful in showing all the different ways you can share your screen either from your laptop or your iPad or your iPhone. It's a really handy feature, and especially if you have an Apple Pencil, you can really do some powerful stuff by sharing your iPad screen with your MacBook, or if you just need to share your MacBook screen, lots of cool things that you can do to further your teaching and make it easier for you to show content to your students or anybody else that's attending your Zoom meeting. If you have any additional questions or are not sure on something, please leave a comment below. I do respond to those comments. While you're down there, please hit that like button. And while you're there anyways, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all my latest video tutorials. Otherwise, this is Adam on Tech, signing off.